Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and welcome to the show, y'all. Now, look here. Up until now, everything has been working out the way that Fee kind of anticipated it. Carl, he's still in jail. He's been sent down there for a few months now, and he's growing antsy. He wants out. He's never had to do any jail time. You remember, he got arrested. He made bond immediately. Then he had a lawyer. He's been working on probation. He got probation, but now his probation been violated because they get dope out of the safe that he opened for them. You know what I'm saying? And him and his mother go to jail. Fee makes the mother's bond, and she's out, and everything is fine on that because they got a lawyer and they're working on it. But now they got a choice to make. They got a choice to make. And quite honestly, Carl might not like how this turns out because Fee wants to put it all off on her baby daddy, William. Now, that's if it works. But if it don't work, Carl is going to have to do some time. It's going to have to do some time. Now, Kenny, he's nowhere in the picture. He's the side mule. You understand what I'm saying? And he understands how the game goes, and there's nothing really that can connect him to anything. If he goes down, Fee would go down. And he understands that Carl wouldn't do that. But as far as William, her baby daddy, who knows? But William doesn't know about Kenny. William knows about Fee and Carl. So Kenny is protected in all of this. His family is just getting paid. Now, a lot of y'all out there that's in the dope game or whatever, you probably don't even know who you're really dealing with. Probably don't even know who you're really dealing with. And these people didn't either. The only one that knew everybody and understood how the pieces of the puzzle were set up was Fee. And I hope this dispels that notion that, women don't understand what's going on in the game. Yeah, women are taken advantage of more in the game, in my opinion, and the numbers bear that out. You feel what I'm saying? Because most of the women that are locked up in the penitentiaries, they taking charges for they dude, all that old kind of stuff. But Fee's not like that. Her brother Carl is the one that started this thing. She jumped in because she saw that the family needed to do something so they can get out of this. So she took over. She took it over. So now the situation is at hand. She has to make some decisions on, am I going to get Carl out, throw William under the bus, and walk away from this like we planned, or what? So she goes to visit Carl and she tells him, look, we have to figure out a way that when we do throw William under the bus, that it sticks. But if it don't stick or the DA don't believe it, you might have to do some time. Carl doesn't like that at all. He don't want to hear none of that about doing no time or none of that kind of stuff. Nothing. So he tells us, make it stick. Make it stick. Now, let me tell you something about this game. Everybody talking about the code and all this and that. The reason I tell these shows, because I want to show you the griminess of the game. And I think that, let me tell you something. Somebody told me the other day. Somebody told me something the other day. People that have been tricked, right? If you've been tricked, it's almost impossible to convince you that you've been tricked. Okay? If you've been tricked, it's almost impossible to convince you that you've been tricked. So people that are in the game, that think they know the game, you've been tricked. And I know you're not going to believe what I'm saying, that it's impossible to convince you you've been tricked because you think you know what you know. But see, I'm going to tell you something. When I got on the other side of the game, right? And when I say the other side of the game, I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want nothing to do with it. Because it's foul. It hurts people. It hurts the person that's involved in it. All of these types of things, right? But I got to admit, it's fascinating. And what's fascinating about it is because people think that they have it figured out. But I've said it once, I say it again, there's no right way to do wrong. But the way the game works, the way it survives, decade after decade, generation after generation, taking people and putting them away for lifetimes, amazes me because people seem to think that they are smart enough to know how it's going to turn out and all the moving pieces that come along with it. We just don't. We don't. And that's what the situation is here. See, once Fee got involved, Carl, even though he was out there on the front line, he's really relegated to a soldier's role. Fee the general. She brings in Kenny. Kenny's her lieutenant. He's making sure the pipeline is straight. Let me break it down for you. William, her baby daddy, he's a foot soldier. Go get the money. While she sits back, plays with Tammy, her daughter, at the house, and Miss Brenda is cooking on the stove. She's sitting back orchestrating and making the pieces move. Right? And now she's going to be the one to decide who walks away and who doesn't. Now, you remember when I told you that Fee had this U-Haul where she was hiding the money? Well, guess what else she's got at the U-Haul place? She got pictures. She got pictures. She had a private detective following William. Why would she do that? This private detective been following William because, look, ain't nothing like a woman scorn, right? You want to know why Fee didn't really want nothing to do with William anymore? Because he been fucking off on her. He been messing around. So she had this private detective on him before she pulled him into the fold, following him, trying to see who he was messing with. That's why she had pushed him to the side and started talking to Kenny. But she had this relationship with this private investigator now that Kenny was in the game, that she invited him to participate in. Guess what she did? She told the private investigator, keep following him. I need pictures. In case he tries to go to court and get custody, I want pictures of what he's doing. So the private investigator got pictures of him moving dope, bag full of money, and all this old kind of stuff, right? Now, the private investigator sees that he's bringing this stuff back to the house. He got pictures of that too. So Fee tells the private investigator, okay, he must be doing business with my brother. The private investigator don't care nothing about none of that because he's being paid by Fee. He just handing her over all the pictures. She'll decide which pictures get turned into the DA. Hold up now, wait a minute. Hold up. Why would she turn in pictures to the DA? It's proof that William is the guy. Come on now, y'all got to keep up with me. Y'all got to keep up with me. I'm trying to tell y'all this story so y'all understand how the streets work and all the different moving pieces and the nuances that come along with it, and you act like you're lost. But what in the world would William be doing dealing with her in that way if he's dealing with another woman he messing around on? He don't know what's going on with her. He think he got her fooled. Like all of us do when we in the streets and messing off with women and all this and that. We think we got the main one fooled. We ain't got none of them fooled. They're just tolerating what we're doing until they can get their lick back. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Because when a woman get her lick back, boy, it hurts. It hurts. But see, Fee, she's on another level now. When she get her lick back, William ain't going to see it coming. He ain't even going to realize what's going on until it's too late. And she's going to be able to walk away from this thing straight. When I say straight, I mean super straight. Because of what? She got a boatload of money that he been out there making for her. Right? Thinking that it's cool. Yeah, she let him tap that thing every now and then. But in her mind, this is like business now. This ain't nothing. So yeah, he want to jump up and down. Let him jump up and down. Let him think what he think. And no, she don't really care about Kenny either. He's just a convenient fuck. I know it. I know it, y'all. The game gets raw. The game gets dirty raw. But that's what it is. She cares about Tammy, her daughter, Miss Brenda, her mother, and Carl, her brother, her twin. That's who she cares about. And that's one thing that you cannot fake. You care about who you care about, and you will do whatever it takes to protect them. You'll do whatever it takes to protect them. And in the game, you got to make choices. You got to make choices. And some of those choices are hard to make because it's going to cause for somebody to get hit. And in this situation, that somebody looks like it's going to be William. So she sets up to meet with the DA, right? She goes to talk to the DA to try to help her brother. She goes down there, she's dressed up, looking the part where it's like she's all innocent and all this and that, because they have no idea that Miss Fee is the main component of this whole operation. They have no idea because she's never seen anywhere outside the house in that capacity. Never. But here's the thing. When she goes down there, she's got all of these pictures. She's cherry-picked these pictures. She's made sure that there are no pictures with her in them. There are no pictures that can really connect her to anything or Miss Brenda to anything. You feel what I'm saying? And she's made sure that the private detective gave her all of the, what do you call those, the main part of the film. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. She's got all of that. She's got all of that. There's nothing that anybody can do. Nothing. So now the DA is looking at these pictures. He's like, how did you get these? So she tells him, this is my baby daddy. He was cheating on me. I hired a private investigator to follow him to see if he was cheating on me because I figured one day we would be going to court for custody of our child. And I wanted to make sure that I had the evidence. And in the process of doing all that for me, he's taking these pictures and showing me so that when I go to court, I can show that he's doing things he ain't got no business. The DA leans back in his chair and said, impressive. He said, you need to be a lawyer. You need to go to law school. He was impressed with her. But she was leaning back too in the chair. She's looking at him, being very calculating in her smiles, her body language, everything, because she knows he's reading her. She just wants him to believe the story. And he said, do you have any copies of these pictures? You know what I'm saying? Do you have the originals? She says, I do, and I'm keeping them. You got what you got. I'm keeping them just in case. He nodded. So, okay. Okay. And then she said, when does my brother get out? She said, well, after we pick up William, and we make our case against him, and we're gonna let Carl out then. We're gonna reinstate his probation. And she said, it's one more thing. She said, we want to move away. We want to get away from here. And he said, long as we know where you're at, as long as we know where you're at, that's fine. And the county or the city or the state that Carl goes to, they have to agree to pick up his probation. You know, it's called an interstate compact. You know, if any of y'all don't know what that means, if you get out of prison or jail and you're on probation or parole and you want to go to another location, these people have to agree to take you on their caseload, interstate compact. And they worked all of that out and they moved to another state. They pick up William. They arrest him. And they charge him on the state level. The feds didn't pick it up, though. They charged him on the state level with manufacturing, distribution, possession, all kinds of stuff. They got him. They got picture evidence. He's blown away. He gets a lawyer, but the lawyer's like, they got everything. So now he starts to talk. He's trying to tell them all this and all that. They don't want to hear it. They got a rock-solid case against him, but he don't know that they've already made a deal with them. They're gone on. If they need to testify, they're willing to testify. The lawyer tells them, take the deal. Take the deal or they're going to bury you. Take the deal or they're going to bury you. Take the deal or they're going to bury you. And he takes the deal, but he's pissed. He's super pissed. And that's a story for another time. That's a story for another time. Because what none of them realized, not even Fee, is that when Carl's name showed up on the radar for the feds, they've been watching him ever since. And you remember Kenny? The guy that all of a sudden just showed up in her life and that didn't want anything to do with the game. Do you remember him? Wait till you hear the story behind that. Wait till you hear the story behind that. But you're not going to hear that right now. You're not going to hear that right now. I'm not going to hear that right now. I got to get the full scoop on that before I give it to you. You know what I'm saying? Then I got to fix it how I'm going to tell you the story. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't have the full scoop on it yet. But let me tell you something. It's connected to them feds. So everybody thinks that this is over. It's just not over. Stay tuned. Now, look, I know you're going to get mad at me, but this is not going to be on tomorrow's episode. It's not going to be on tomorrow's episode. You know what I'm saying? Well, it might. It might. I ain't going to play with y'all like that. It might. But it's a doozy. It's a doozy. You know what? I ain't even going to do you like that. I ain't even going to do you like that. Let me tell you what I do know. This is what I do know. Ken is an undercover. He's an undercover. He working for the feds. Fee don't know it. Carl don't know it. William don't know it. And the DA in the city that they from don't know nothing about him. The feds got an open investigation on all of them. And they're looking deep into it. Now, I don't know anything other than that. I know y'all finna cuss me. I go on and do it. I love y'all too. I love y'all too. It's been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.